You're in the Pill Method Club, and this is how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. And this is episode 73, Jared. Episode 73. I mean, we're that close to 100 episodes. You know, I was in Breakfast with Champions the other day, and they've done over 400 episodes. But, but this is a milestone to get up to 73 episodes, to be in here consistently, giving the information, the truth about finances and mortgages and other loans to the people. Jared, what do you say this morning? How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Excited for this room as always. Thank you, everybody, from Mia down to Jamila for being here. What you're going to experience in today's room, if you've never been in this room, is a paradigm shift in how you look at your mortgages, your refinance, car loans, student loans, credit card debt, anything that has to do with interest. You're going to get a new perspective that's going to save you thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. If you've never been in the room, click that greenhouse at the top, follow the club, and also read the about description. That'll give you an idea of some questions you can ask about your personal situation that'll be not only beneficial to you, but beneficial to the entire audience. So this is a 2-hour room. It goes by extremely fast. So we'd love for you to raise your hand, come on stage, and make this as interactive as possible, because we like to actually help people in the room. And that also helps you understand the information even better. To help you understand the information better as well, Don is in a studio right now where he's live streaming all of the content he'll be covering today on how to take a 30-year, 40-year mortgage and pay it off in 7 to 9 years. And if you want to see the numbers, the interest calculation, the calculator, the amortization schedules, etc., you can go to your laptop, your iPad, or your desktop, type in ice10kvideos.com. That'll take you to Don's YouTube channel. Once you get to the channel, you'll see a bunch of panels. Click the one that says live. Once you click that and you skip the commercial, you'll see Don in the studio. And if you ask a question on Clubhouse, you'll be able to see the numbers that he breaks down for your mortgage on the screen, and that'll help you as well. Want to shout out everybody live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We'd love for you to be interactive as well. So please type your questions into the chat, and we will prioritize you as well and break it down on the screen and give you the information that you're looking for. All right. So really excited for this room. What we're going to do is some quick moderator introductions. But before we do that, I'm going to have Don introduce himself and let you know about the P.I.L.L method and what you can get out in today's room.
My name is Don Daniel. I'm founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Once you understand those 4 banking principles, you will begin to understand the truth about how loans actually work. We've been in this system of paying back loans since 1934. Folks, that's 88 years this year on how all of this works. So what we want to do is release the information to you about how loans actually work, because for 88 years, we have not known. We've been paying 75% more interest than we need to, and we're going to learn the truth about loans. And one of the truths we're going to learn today, Jared, is low interest rates can hurt you in paying off your loans early, where higher interest rates can actually help you get out of debt cheaper and faster. We're going to show some of that this morning, and I can't wait to get into it, because everybody that's talking about these high interest rates and woe is me and gloom and doom, they don't know what they're talking about. They're scaring people. And I'm going to give you something to be glad about today and you want to actually see this on your screens. So if you want to see what I'm talking about today, you want to go to ice10kvideos.com. That's ice10kvideos.com. And click on our YouTube channel. Click on that subscribe button, like some of those videos. And I'm telling you, there's no other content like this on Facebook or on social media. This is the only place you're going to get this information, why higher interest rates are actually better than the lower ones. Back to you, Jared.
All right, all right. Yeah, so definitely be prepared and have your mind shifted. And also share this room with the community. It's really important that we take all this interest cost that we're sitting out to the banks and our community understands how we can redirect it to our kids' inheritance, to investments that'll make us more money, buy more real estate using this method, um, take more vacations using this method. So we'd love for you to click that button in between the chat and the scissors. I'm going to lead by example. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and click share on Clubhouse. I'm going to do the mind blowing emojis because that's exactly what my mind does every time I hear this method. All right, now you see the number goes up. So thank you to everybody that's going to share the room to the community. Also, if you know people that are about to make big financial decisions, go ahead and ping them into the room by clicking that share button and clicking the invite people and just click on the faces that are online. Really appreciate the support. All right, so we're going to go through quick moderator introductions. And while we do that, we'd love to see some hands go up and some people invited to the stage. So if you have a question about your refinance, your mortgage, your car loan, student loans, credit card debt, come on stage so that you don't have to wait and we'll get to you immediately after the introductions. So my name is Jared Albertin, been in tech for over 15 years, really passionate about showing people ways to find generational wealth, whether it's getting into tech, funding your startup, the metaverse, NFTs, crypto, etc. So check out my replays on Clubhouse. I'd love for you to give me a follow here. And also check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. All right, pass.
To the end.
interest cost on the car is only $2,400. So I'm only saving a portion of the $2,400 total amount that I could pay on the car. I'm only saving a portion of that while I'm paying $24,000 in interest on the mortgage. So, with that money that I'm paying towards the car, would it be better suited towards the mortgage and saving more interest? Or should I just continue to focus on the car and get the good feelings of paying the car off early?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
See.
So that's what I'm talking about when I'm so I have my cash sitting around. Okay. Let me give you another example. I've got a I was sitting in a banker's office and a junior vice president, and he says, "You know what? I've been following this system, and based on my income, my wife and I need to save up $36,000 for our uh, emergency fund." Okay. Now, I don't mind not having an emergency. I don't mind an emergency fund, but I like to look at the numbers of what that really means. So what I asked him was, would you spend $70,000 to $80,000 just to be able to save $5,000? He says, "What?" I said, "Would you be willing to spend $70,000 or $80,000 just to save $5,000?" And he says, "Well, no, I wouldn't want to do that." So, Miss Daphne, would you happen to be sitting next to a computer?
I am.
Okay, so you can help us out greatly by going to a guy named Brett Whistle, B-R-E-T. You want to Google his name, B-R-E-T, first name, last name, W-H-I-S-S-E-L. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that, because I'm in my studio and I don't have internet. I can't pull it up myself.
Okay.
So if you could help me, that would be great.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay. So let me know when you get to his amortization calculator, because um, it defaults at $100,000. I'm going to see if I can
spell the last name for me again.
W-H-I-S as in Sam, S as in Sam, E-L.
Okay. And we're going to the amortization.
That's correct.
Calculator. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So here's what we've got. Okay. If we can bring up two tabs. On one tab, we're going to have a calculator, and on a second tab, we're going to have a calculator.
Okay.
Okay. So now once we got the tabs up, on the first tab, we're going to put in a $400,000 mortgage at 4% interest, because that's what he had at the time.
Okay.
Okay. $400,000 at 4%.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to click the little, put a check mark in that little box.
Okay.
That says, okay, and then we're going to calculate.
Okay.
All right. And what we'll see there in the summary, how much interest is he supposed to pay on that loan in the summary?
Let's see. Total interest $287,477.
Okay.
And 60 cents.
All right. So what was that? I'm gonna...
The interest?
Yeah, the interest.
287. Okay, 477.
287,000. So first of all, is 287,000 4% of 400,000?
No.
No. So look over to the right-hand side, the bottom line, and tell us how much of that principal are we, what is the percentage of principal we're paying?
It's 71,
All
71.86.
all 4% mortgages are 71% mortgages.
Hmm.
All of them. No matter how much it is, if it's a 30-year loan, all 4% mortgages are 71% mortgages, not 4. That's number one. Number two is this. So now we're going to scroll down to payment number one. So you'll be able to see like payment between payment one, and you should be able to see like down to 24. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. If we take a look at the amount of the principal on the very first payment, how much money
Mm-hmm.
goes to principal? How much goes to interest?
576.33 principal, 1,333.33 to interest.
Wow. Okay, so I'll keep that in mind when
Mm-hmm.
so the guy says I'm going to pay, and I'm going to now what I'm getting ready to show you, Miss Daphne, are just the numbers. This is not necessarily what I advocate. Okay, we're just looking at the numbers here. So don't go on. Please don't go and say Don says you don't need a reserve fund, an emergency
Okay.
fund. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I said, now, just to give him an example here, I said you can save up $36,000 because he makes good money.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, now, what if you were to apply $36,000 to your mortgage? Now, to give you a little background on this, Miss Daphne, I need you to take a look at payment number one and payment number two, and then we'll get
Okay.
into that next place. So if we
Okay.
paid payment number one this month, then that payment is done. We don't owe anything until next month, correct?
Right. That's correct.
What is the principal payment for line two or payment number two? What's the principal payment?
578.25.
Now, here's my question. Do I have to wait till next month to give the bank that 528?
No, you don't.
I do not. All right. So, what if I gave it to the bank this month on top of my regular payment?
Okay.
None of that money goes to interest, does it?
No, it does not.
I'm actually paid down to line two on my amortization schedule, aren't I?
Yes.
All right. So if I'm paid down to line two on my amortization schedule, I just got rid of one line of my amortization schedule for a little over $500, not the entire payment. So my next mortgage payment for next month is actually on line three of the schedule, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the interest cost on line two? What happened to that?
I went away.
It went away. So for $500 extra, I know how much interest I'm saving because of that. Wow, that's a lot of money saved.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
now that we have that as a backdrop, we're going to take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest.
Okay.
That's column 3 and column 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what if you took your $36,000, Mr. Banker, and applied it to your mortgage principal? You make your payment, but now you apply that $36,000 to your mortgage principal instead. Would you please go down to where it says about $36,000 in cumulative principal? That's column 3.
Okay. Cumulative 36,000. Okay, I'm there.
How many payments is that? Payment number?
57.
So do you realize if we put that on there, we would knock off about 57 payments we don't have to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look immediately to the right of that number, we see how much interest we just saved. How much interest did we save?
72,000.
About $72,000. Now, here's what I asked him. And now we're going to talk about leveraging other people's money. Okay.
Okay, that's what I want to see here.
So I said, now, what if could you now get a line of credit for $36,000, like a HELOC? He says, I work at the bank. Of course, I can get a line of credit for 36. I just paid my mortgage down by 36 grand. I can get a line of credit for $36,000. So then I said, now, how much interest are you paying on that $36,000? He says, I'm not paying anything on it. I said, what do you mean? He says, I haven't borrowed any money, so I don't pay any interest. So what you're saying is you have $36,000 available to you that you're not paying a dime on. But if you had $36,000 in a savings account for your emergency fund, it's only making 1/10 of 1% just sitting there. He said, yeah. And I said, what if something were to happen with your job or your wife's job? And let's just say that you didn't have that cash available, but you had the line of credit available. And you had to spend every single dime of that money. So now you owe $36,000. Now, when things get better and you're back to work, now you got to pay that money back. Now we're going to go to the other amortization schedule, and we're going to put in $36,000. We're going to leave it at the 6% interest rate, and we're going to change the number of payments from 360 to just 60. We're going to give him 5 years to pay that money back. 5 years. And now we're going to calculate that. Now, he could pay it back faster than 5 years. But what if he says, I'll just take 5 years, take my time to pay it back. Now, once we click calculate, the payments should come back around $700 a month.
Let's see where. Yeah, $695. Yeah,
$695.
Yeah,
$695 a month. All right. Now, if we go down to the summary, if he doesn't, even if he doesn't pay the loan off faster, what if he takes all 5 years to pay it off? What is the total amount of interest he will pay on that loan?
$15.99.
$15.99.
Oh, you said the total amount of interest. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
$5,758.
So if he took his $36,000 in cash and put it on his mortgage, how much interest does he save? 70,000.
Yeah, 70, little bit.
So he's going to keep the cash. So because here's the thing, we don't want to borrow money because we got to pay interest on it.
Right.
But the total amount of interest he would pay is how much?
$5,758.
So if somebody asked you now, Miss Daphne, should I, looking at the numbers, should I borrow somebody else's money or use my money to put on my mortgage to save 70 grand?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good concept. Yep.
You got a whole lot of unlearning to do, huh, Daphne?
Yeah. A bit. Yeah.
So this is what we're saying. A wise use of somebody else's money is a good thing. You don't want to be unwise. Let me tell you about credit. Credit, using credit, if you don't have resources, leave it alone. Credit is only for people who have money because it's a convenience at that point. I can leverage somebody else's money. And do you know where they say success leaves footprints, Miss Daphne?
I'm sorry. Say the question one more time.
You know how people say success leaves footprints?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now I'm going to take a page out of somebody else's book because they've been very successful. The largest buildings downtown Huntsville, Alabama, are the bank buildings. You know how they do business? They're the biggest borrowers in town.
Yes, I agree.
They borrow our money.
Yes.
Make big money with it.
Yes.
And then pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of it. So what if we turn that around and borrowed their money, got a big old benefit for it, and paid them pennies on the dollar for the use of it? See, you can control how much interest you pay once you know what's going on. So this is what I mean by, if I can borrow that money at an effective interest rate, and what I mean by effective interest rate, if we were to attack the mortgage like we do here at the P.I.L.L method, we attack that mortgage with our money that's left over after paying the bills. Our clients pay off their mortgages in an average of 7 to 9 years. Not just their mortgages, but their mortgages, their student loans, their car loans, everything in 7 to 9 years, but not focusing on the principal amount that we're paying off, but only focusing on how much interest we can save per transaction. So if I can take my money and put it on the right loan at the right time, killing the maximum amount of interest per dollar, I automatically get out of debt faster because more of my money is going to principal, less of my money goes to interest. Yes, the debt snowball works. Yes, the avalanche method works, but they're highly inefficient when it comes to interest savings. What good is getting out of debt faster when I paid $50,000 to $70,000 more in interest that I did not need to pay? And
Okay. Point well taken.
That's the focus there.
Okay.
All right. So, Miss Daphne, that was a very long answer to your short question. I hope that was okay.
No, that was good. I appreciate your taking the time to explain it to me, and let me see it in black and white.
Yes, on your own computer screen.
Yeah.
So thank you so very much. And Ms. Daphne, you can come in here anytime. Do you have any other questions for us this morning?
Yes, I do.
Go right
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So if we were interested in, or if I'm interested, excuse me, in the P.I.L.L method, how do we go about doing this? Is this
Okay.
something we just do? We just do this on our own? What how does that work?
Oh, I wish I was smart enough.
Okay.
Well, so
All right.
what we did was develop a computer program
Okay.
that tells us exactly how much to pay,
Okay.
when to pay it,
Okay.
which loan to attack,
Mm-hmm.
um, and and exactly what increments so that we can maximize the amount of interest that we're saving per dollar. Let's just say that if I knew what was going on, I could save about $6 in interest for every dollar I apply.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, I could save $3. Now I'm getting out of debt faster and I am saving interest.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm saving $3 instead of $6. My question
Mm-hmm.
is, how would I know the difference?
Right.
Because I'm not focusing on my interest cost. I'm not mitigating the interest cost. So our
Mm-hmm.
program gives us that kind of feedback so that we
Okay.
know wherever we're putting our money, we're going to pay, we're going to save the most amount of interest per dollar. So when
Okay.
I'm paying my dollar, I know that it's doing the most.
Okay.
All right. And that's what we do is we do a savings report for everyone who wants one. So if they go to ice10klive.com, right above our heads, you will see a button that says get and a savings and earnings report. Fill out the information there, and then the program will let you into our financial form. Put all your information into the financial form, how much you owe, interest rates, minimum payments, how much you're making, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Once you do that, then someone from my office will give you a call and then set up a consultation. You will know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, and how much interest you could save, and then take those interest savings and then invest that money into your own personal bank. Because now you're acquiring your assets, your mortgage, whatever it is, at 75% off of what the bank wanted to charge you in interest. There you go. Any other any other questions? Hello, did I lose everybody?
Nope,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry, I
you.
was on mute.
Oh, okay. Okay, good, good, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I'm so afraid that I'm going to lose internet on everything around here that I won't be able to finish the show. I still can't get my computer up and running. But anyway, Miss Daphne, I want to ask you another thing. Did you know that
Okay.
most Americans have on average, about 13 different debts?
Yes, on
Okay,
average, yes.
on average. So now we're looking at how to pay them off and um, and in the right way. So now out of
Mm-hmm.
my 13, guess what if we should happen to guess which one we should focus on first? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that I have 13 different debts and
Mm-hmm.
focus on that like I use my debt snowball theory and I'm working on that debt. Debt snowball says I should pay it to zero and
Mm-hmm.
then switch to the next one.
Right.
Okay. Now, as we're looking at an amortization schedule, especially the ones you already have on your screen, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying that down, it's going to get to the point where if you go deeper into the amortization schedule, the the interest payments get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, the loan I started with is actually going to be cheaper than the other loans.
Right.
So why should I continue to pay that one to zero when I should pay it down to where it's cheaper than the other loans and then switch over to another loan and
Mm-hmm.
start attacking that one where I could save more interest?
Mm-hmm.
See, our program monitors all 13 of those debts. So you don't have to think
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's like financial GPS. When this one
Mm-hmm.
is paid down to the right spot, then this program says,
Mm-hmm.
let's leave that one alone. And let's go over and switch over to this one where we could save more interest.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we're going with this thing. It's all about how much interest we can save. And when we save the most interest, more of our regular money our our um, our financial footprint as it is now. We don't need to make more money. We just need to pay less interest by disrupting the bank's timing because then it makes it impossible for them to charge us the interest. So that's a little bit about what we're doing. And do you have any other questions for us this morning?
Okay. Yeah. One last question.
Sure.
Okay. If you get, maybe you get a windfall here, there, whatever, you get a lump sum of money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, um, your system, your system doesn't say, or I don't know if it does. I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking.
Yeah.
You're to put like we did that 36,000.
Right.
That we're to put it um in into one of these places where it reduces the interest, or that it tells us exactly what we're to do with that lump
Ah,
sum.
now that
That's what you're
is a
saying.
perfect question. Okay.
Mm.
Now, and I'm going to drill down a little deeper because remember, I started this with saying I don't necessarily advocate what we were talking about. Is just so that we could look at the numbers. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a point at which more is too much.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
if I want to save, so let's go to, do you have a calculator handy?
No, you just use my phone. I'll
Just
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 use
use the
that.
one on your phone. Do you still
Okay.
have that $400,000 mortgage up on your screen? Can we
Yes.
go to that?
Yes.
You're helping me out. Do you know why you're helping me out? Because I don't have internet yet. I can't even do this myself. And Kurt Nugent is on the stage this morning. He's listening in. He's got everything going up to he's probably got a little sign saying we'll be right back, but still people can hear us online. Is that right, Kurt?
Okay.
That is correct. That is correct. They can hear both of you online, and they are actually, we put something on screen for them to see as well. In fact, we have a couple people watching online as well.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. So, listen, this man taught me. Listen, man, listen. If things go wrong online, don't panic. Just pivot. Because does this thing all the time. I am so glad that we're surrounded by professionals to get this show up and running. All right, so we're going to take a look at payments um, 1 through 24. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now we can see payment 1 through 24,
Mm-hmm.
and if we look at the cumulative principal on line 12 and the cumulative principal on line 24. All
Okay.
right. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
say we have plenty of money. I got
Mm-hmm.
plenty of money.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was looking, let me, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Let me see if I think I might have gotten a quick signal here about my internet. Let's see if I got my internet back. All right. Um, so I've got that going on. I got plenty of money. And if I asked you, because you can prepay any amount you want to these loans, but what if I only gave you two choices? You can
Mm-hmm.
prepay line 12, which is how much money of interest?
Cumulative
Cumulative
7,000.
principal. I'm sorry, cumulative
Cumulative
principal.
7,044.
And the cumulative principal on line 12, on line 24.
14,375.
Okay. So I could pay one or the other. Which one would you choose based on the interest savings immediately to the right?
Line 24.
Line 24, because we would save how much?
31,000.
31,000, as opposed to line 12 where we would save how much?
About 16,000.
About 16,000. Okay. So here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell a little story. Every now and
Okay.
then my wife makes zucchini bread. And when she does, she puts in golden raisins. I kind of like the golden raisins. So one Sunday she's making up a batch, and grating the zucchini and warming up the oven and mixing up the batter and everything. And she looks into the pantry, and guess what?
There's no golden raisins.
No golden raisins. So who gets to go to the store?
You do.
Now, nobody ever gets that wrong, Miss Daphne. Nobody. So I'm heading out the door, going to get the golden raisins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I go to get the golden raisins, she says, "Bring me back 2 boxes." I get there, I know what brand to get, so I get there, but I get confused because now I see raisins in a 12-ounce box and an 18-ounce box. They're both different prices. How do I know which one is the better value?
You're going to look at the quantity and the amount and the
Mm-hmm.
price.
Exactly. That's called the unit cost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me ask you, if I can get those raisins for 6 cents for 3 cents an ounce, should I ever pay 6 cents an ounce for the same raisins?
No.
No. I want to get them at 3 cents an ounce. That's the better value.
Right.
I've actually seen, believe it or not, in doing the math, I've actually seen where the larger quantity, they were trying to trick me, was actually more per ounce. I've done the math. I said, you're not fooling me. I'm going to get several of the smaller ones and get a better deal. So anyway, back to the story.
Okay.
Back to the story. So I get those raisins, and so and I understand that. So if we look at the cumulative principal on line 12 and the cumulative interest, I'm going to pay the cumulative principal, which is my money, but the raisins are the interest I could save. So we take the cumulative interest and divide it by the cumulative principal. Won't that tell us how much interest we're saving per dollar?
Mm-hmm.
So will you do that on line 12 for me and tell me what I get? Since I can't see it, I have to write it down.
Okay. $2.25.
2.25. Do you know what we just found out? For every dollar, I'm saving $2.25 in interest for every dollar applied. Wow. If more people knew that for every dollar, I save $2.25.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, If you gave me $1 and I gave
Mm-hmm.
you back $2.25, how many times would you do that?
uh, many times,
Many times.
many as I can.
As
Yes.
many as you can. Do you realize the bank has to do the same thing? If you give them $1 at this point, it makes it
Mm-hmm.
impossible for them to charge you $2.25. So it really doesn't matter. When folks say, I don't have a lot of money to
Mm-hmm.
get out of it, you don't look at how you bring down the principal. Look at how much interest you could save with $10, with $25, with $50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, so that's $2.25. So you know where I'm headed now. Let's go
Mm-hmm.
to line 24 and do the same thing.
Okay. $2.18.
Wow, $2.18. So if I can save $2.25 per dollar, should I ever accept $2.18?
No.
Now, here is where I'm going with this. Okay, there's a point at which more is too much at a certain amount of time. We don't want
Okay.
to be totally focused on interest, saving interest. We also want to be focused on making interest at the same time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's interest
Okay. Mm-hmm.
cancellation and then there's
Mm-hmm.
wealth creation. Let me give you a
Okay.
perfect example of that. I had a young engineer here. Well, he's still my client here in Huntsville, Alabama. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
he's making more money now
Mm-hmm.
than he was when he was on my program, 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he found out that his skills were highly sought. So not only is he working his job, but he's doing contract work for other companies as well in his off
Okay.
time. So he's making plenty of money now. So he
Mm-hmm.
put all of that money into the program, saying, "Now I'm making this much money," because we can put in a section in the budget income. So he posted what his average income is for the month from those
Mm-hmm.
jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's paying off the last $260,000 of his mortgage
Mm-hmm.
in 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then our program also tells him how much interest he has left to pay if he follows the program. It's going to be $16,000 in interest. He was surprised for me when I told him, "You're paying off the mortgage too fast, and you're not paying enough interest."
Oh wow.
He
Okay.
says, "I thought that was the idea." I said, "Yes,
Mm-hmm.
up to a point." So here, what we want to do now, I told him, tell the program you're making $2,000 a month less. So
Mm-hmm.
we took two grand out. The program immediately recalculated, just like GPS does,
Mm-hmm.
and says now you're going to be out of debt in not 3.5 years, but 6.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to pay $20,000 in interest instead of 16. He
Mm-hmm.
says, "Don, why is that better? It's costing me more and it's taking me longer." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Now, if you want to get out of debt in 3.5 years, what do you have to do?" He says, "I got to put my $2,000 back into the budget. 3.5 years, that's 36 months plus 6 months, that's 42 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Times $2,000. 42 months times $2,000 is
42 times 2
mhm,
is 84.
84 grand. I said, now you have to put 84 grand towards debt reduction just to
Mm-hmm.
save $4,000 in interest.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you're going to spend your money? Guess what he said?
No.
No. So we want to have the right amount of money going to interest reduction, but we can take the rest of that money and put it into wealth creation.
Mm-hmm.
How would you
Gotcha.
like to know what that is called critical point analysis? How would you like to know what that point is in everybody's budget that's listening here today? They can't see me. But everybody here that's listening today to know when that can be. What is that magic number for our family so we can stop putting money towards um, debt reduction and start putting towards wealth creation and do both at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to know when more is too much. So,
Okay.
so I wouldn't tell somebody if we got that lump sum. What I
Mm-hmm.
would tell them is let's do the math and figure it out. When you
Okay.
put your lump sum in here, let's just see how much extra interest it's saving you. And then determine, do you want to do that? Or do you want to put some in savings? Or do you just want to go on an extra vacation?
Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. So we let math tell us,
Okay.
not feeling, not a rule of thumb. We let math tell us. So what we've done is taken what Mr. Ramsey has done for all of these years for a lot of different people, and we plugged in an extra component. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
do the math for everyone who wants to know. We're going to do the math for them so that they can get a more precise
Mm-hmm.
result,
Mm-hmm.
saving money, which gets them out of debt. So it's kind of a slight twist. So we thank him for what he's done so far, but what he's done, we're just taking it to the next step and
Right.
bringing technology and
Mm-hmm.
education into it. And now we're
Mm-hmm.
saving money in interest as well. How does that sound?
Okay. That sounds good. Sounds good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're bringing our first so we're going to put it on screen for everybody online. We're going to be doing our first live seminar in Nashville, and it's going to be at the Gaylord Opryland Resort. And that's going to be in Nashville, May 20th through the 22nd. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But Miss Daphne, I want to thank you so very much for bringing your
No,
questions. Do you have anything else for us? Because listen, this is good stuff.
no, thank you. I appreciate your your instructions and how you've taught that. That's really phenomenal. I'm gonna check you out too.
Okay, please do, and you'll
I
you'll
will.
find out that we have a book.
Okay.
And if you go to we're going to put that up on the screen as well. If you go to ice10klive.com, there's a button that says get my book. It'll take you straight to Amazon. It's been a #1 bestseller. It's the
Okay.
only book out of 33 million titles that talks about how an amortization schedule actually works and how to defeat it. It gives
Okay.
you the basics. And
Okay.
then it lets you know that trying to handle this as using a rule of thumb, it's going to cost you a lot of money. You really do need our opportunity cost calculator that does all the math for you and tells you how much money to pay, what month to do it in, what day of the month to do it on. But it helps us to kind of unlearn what we have learned over the years about how to attack debt and then focus now on being more efficient with our money to get a bigger bang for our buck. And then that's the book gives us a foundation on understanding interest cancellation. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Jared, back to you. I think Miss Daphne is complete.
Awesome. Great question, Daphne. Really appreciate that. Luis and Arturo, thank you so much for coming to the stage as well. Also want to shout out the new moderators on the stage, Kirk, Coffee, and Olivia. You're always curious about who you follow, and these are people that I highly recommend that you follow. So check out Kirk, Coffee, and Olivia's profiles. Check out all they can do, their replays, and give them all a follow. You won't regret it. And also make sure you're following the man of the hour, Don, the Pill Method, Daniels, the Iceman himself, to the left of me. Make sure you click on his profile, give him a follow, and click that bell right next to the follow button and click always on. So he did mention he's got a conference, he's got a book. So we're going to talk a lot more about that in a bit. But just to make sure we get to Lewis in a nice, timely manner, we're going to pass it to you so you can ask your question. So, Lewis, you got the floor. And Lewis, there you go.
Yep. Hi, it's Lewis. I'm actually based in Melbourne. I don't exactly have a specific question. Just a bit of background. It was just a input, but that 7-year period is actually really good because that's pretty much what the banks also borrow at. So they usually have like a maturity gap within their balance sheets, and borrowing over that 7-year period is actually really good timing. Yeah, I think I also didn't realize that when you get towards the end of a loan, you actually do start to pay too much because you're pouring all that money just to save just a tiny fraction of interest. It's not really particularly a question, but it's just really just an input. That was all from me. Thank you.
And who was that?
That was Lewis.
Hey, Lewis, listen, thank you very much. Do you realize I have clients in Melbourne and Tasmania and other places?
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And so you may be familiar with the fact that having an offset mortgage. You're familiar with that concept?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about how that offset mortgage actually works? Because a lot of my clients are on that. And do you remember how some people got in trouble with using that offset mortgage a few years ago?
That's interesting. From my side, I've never really actually had to really use it.
Okay.
But it was pretty much just really just being ahead and making sure I don't really pay much interest at all. So I feel like borrowing that money, I feel like I actually didn't pay interest on it. So I was actually also studied so I'm a mechanical engineer, but I also studied a double degree in business finance. So I pretty much like majored right into finance banking. So right when I saw at my early mortgage payments, I saw the amount that I was being charged. I was horrified. I was like, nah, that's not on. That is not on. Yeah, so pretty much using the bank's method, and then it's like you're acting as a bank essentially, and then rather than lending them that cash, as you were mentioning earlier, it's very interesting. Yeah.
So what they were doing, folks, is they have a line of credit. They have it's like 2 mortgages. They would borrow money from one line, place it on the other mortgage, and cut their interest costs down, and then place their income into the line of credit. Now, the only way that works is that you spend less than what you put in. But because there was no safety net, there was nothing there that tells you not to, a lot of people were putting their income into the line of credit. Let's say they were putting their $6,000 of income into it, but for some reason they kept spending $6,500 or $7,000 or $8,000 and getting deeper and deeper and deeper into debt using that offset system. And I don't know if you remember this, but the Australian version of 60 Minutes did a story on that. Do you remember that?
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I didn't see that one.
Okay. Yep. But anyway, it got people. It caused a big ruckus in Australia, and then more and more people who are looking on how to extricate themselves from that saw some of my videos online, and then some people started calling, and then we picked up more and more clients from Australia. And how the word got out is that one family member would share the P.I.L.L method with other family members in Australia. So we didn't do any advertising. It was all word of mouth, one family member to another family member. Then it got to people at work. Then it got to other people who were at work, and then it got shared that way. But yeah, we are doing business in Australia, and I plan to come to the country of Australia one day and enjoy the fabulous beaches.
Nice. Yeah. Welcome. It's beautiful here. Yep.
Okay. And listen, as it's getting spring here, it's fall there. And thank you for sending us the warm weather. I'm sure you're through with it.
Yeah. It's starting to feel like winter's pretty much coming. Yep.
All right. So listen, thank you for your comments this morning and bringing that special light into the meeting this morning. Jared, back to you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, Lewis, for coming to the stage. And we have about 57 minutes left, so plenty of time to answer more questions. So if you're in the audience and you'd like to ask a question similar to the way Daphne did and Don broke it down, feel free to come on stage. Also, if you are new to the room and you didn't realize it, Don, is the internet working? You can share the screen now?
Nope.
Nope, never mind then. Let me not even talk about that. But
Well, listen,
that
doesn't mean well, I can't put examples up, but that doesn't mean that Kurt can't put some stuff up on up on the screen. But listen, I have a ton of stories, so anytime you want to hear something, let me know. But I also want to talk about the fact that we have not only the book, but as a special gift, we're giving out the 10K card that goes along with it, what we have at the top of the screen. So if you want, please get the book today, folks. It's going to save you tons. Not only get one, but get two. Give it away as a gift. Can you imagine giving somebody the gift of financial literacy? That's kind of the new thing on the block, where they're going to get rid of the old information and put in the new information. Folks, please share this room out, because this is the only place people are going to get it today. They can't get it on. I can't show them anything, but I can certainly talk about it. But get that book out to several people today, ladies and gentlemen. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to pay for a digital business card for you for every book you purchase. And not only can you have a digital business card for you, but you have some to give away as gifts to others. Sean 10K Lashley, are you in the building right now?
10K is in the building. Let me know if my reception is good.
Your reception is beautiful, my friend.
Perfect. So I guess I'm winning you this morning. You have internet problem, I have good reception. There we go. Had to crack you up there, brother. Guys, the good thing about hanging around good people is that they're not going to keep good stuff to themselves. So when Don came across the 10K card and he saw the magical powers that it had in terms of spreading his message and making it easy for clients and potential customers to connect to his message, he said, you know what? I want to get this out to everyone. So everyone that actually get a copy of Don's book, not only you'll become educated on saving on the interest you're paying, but then also you're going to get a digital business card that you can put your website, your phone number, your social media links, and all of the other contact points you have that you wish to share with others. Not only is this going to be a very seamless way of sharing your information, but this would actually help you in generating more business for your company or for your profession. So guys, click on the link, get a copy of the book, fill out a savings and earnings report, and then claim your free 10K card. Not free, sorry, your prepaid 10K card. With that said, Captain, back to you.
All right, Jared, what's next?
All right. So I just want to address a couple of questions in the chat, and then Arturo, thank you so much for your patience. We're going to get right to your question next. So one question that was asked was, how much does the program cost?
That is a very good question. And the cost is based on what we're going to actually do for you. We have clients that, like students, have maybe $80,000 in student loan debt. That's all they have. We also have clients that have $2 million or more in commercial properties. And we're saving them on different amounts of interest. So our cost, how we cost this out, is basically on how much debt you have and how much interest we're going to save you. Now, here's what I want to ask you. Now, please don't take this to heart, but our average client saves about $150,000 in interest they wouldn't have saved otherwise. 150 grand. Okay? 150,000. That's the average. So what if I told you I knew where you could get 150 grand? I'm going to point it out to you, give you, exactly where it is. But out of that 150 grand that I found for you, I'm going to charge you 10% of it. That's $15,000. Would it be worth it to you to pay $15,000 out of the 150 grand so that you can have the rest? Think of it that way. Think of more of what you're going to get out of this thing. And I guarantee you, for the average client, it's way less than the 15 grand. That much I can tell you. But if you want to know exactly how much it would cost you, go ahead and fill out a savings and earnings report. And when you do that, the computer automatically generates the cost for you. But we're going to show you how that comes out of the interest savings. So ultimately, you don't pay for it anyway. The bank does in the interest they're no longer going to receive. I love that part. Okay, back to you, Jared.
All right. So I think that should hopefully answer that question. So yeah, if you want to understand how much debt you can save and the amount of time, ice10klive.com, go to the savings and earnings report, fill out the information. And Ashley, if you're having trouble with the verification code, I'll make sure that Don's team reaches out to you directly. So we'll figure that out. With that being said, Arturo, thank you so much for coming to the stage. And again, we love the interaction, so we appreciate Arturo. Be like Arturo, raise your hand, come on stage. We'd love more questions to keep the show going. So Arturo, you're up next.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to add, I'm a client of Don's right now. I wanted to add for Daphne, but I think she might have left, that we were on the Dave Ramsey kick as well. And it was just mind-blowing how much different the programs are, and kind of like a weight off my shoulder, because me and my wife, we have a lot of student loans, we have the mortgages, we have all kinds of debt, and it just seems like it would take forever to snowball all of them. And so when we got a chance to see our savings and earnings report with Don, you see exactly when you'll be done with everything. Just by following the program. And another caveat to add to that is that you don't have to be on beans and rice. You don't have to be not going on vacations or not living your life how you want to. I mean, we have three kids. We have our lives, and so that's something that Dave Ramsey preaches, is that you got to be on beans and rice, and you got to just have the minimum of everything, so that way you can get rid of this debt as quick as possible. And with Don's program, you can kind of put in, well, what if we happen to go on vacation? What if we go do this? And you put it in, and you figure out, oh, it's only going to add a month to my how long I have to take to pay off everything. So it's kind of nice to have that program to figure those things out for me, because psychologically, paying all this stuff off is it's hard. It's hard to have a lot of debt and try and just do one loan at a time. And so I just wanted to add that piece to it, because we were also on the whole Dave Ramsey thing program and went through the Financial Peace University, and then we met Don and saw how that wasn't the only way to save money and pay off debt, and that there's actually a better way to do it. So just wanted to throw that in. We love Don's program and enjoy being a client of his.
Thank you very much, Arturo, for coming up. Listen, we just had a meeting the other day, and things are going extremely, extremely well. In fact, when you came to us, we were in the height of the pandemic, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I didn't even have a job at that point, but we felt we couldn't have passed this opportunity up, so we definitely went with your program at that time.
Wow, thank you so much. And that's going to be helpful to people when it comes to this. We're going to take you where you are. And even in the midst of the point where he didn't have a job, we were still able to manage his finances so he could look at them a little differently to keep them afloat until he was able to go back to work. And part of what was going on was it wasn't that he couldn't go to work, it's just that there was no childcare at the time. So somebody had to watch the kids while, and that cut into their income. But now things are back to full force. They are now doing even better now than they were then. But listen, folks, here's a situation where you're in the midst of a pandemic. We're used to living on two incomes, but with this program, we can make one income work in some cases and still pay down debt. Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Arturo. I wouldn't have thought about that until you came up to the stage. So I bet somebody got something out of that today. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Arturo, for coming up. Yeah, we appreciate the feedback. And yeah, any other questions in the room, feel free to raise your hand. So Chappelle Rose says, so if the system tells us what to pay and when to pay, how do we pay you? Is it paid monthly or do we have to pay up front? Good question.
That is a very good question. It's a one-time payment. If you were to get a refinance, or when you get your refinance, then you get what happens is you pay the bank up front. So we'll show you. And when you pay the bank up front, do you realize you're actually borrowing that money? So they'll roll the fee into your mortgage. So we're going to show you how you can use the bank's money to pay for this program. And if I can pay off a mortgage in 7 years, do you know that some people, they need to be reoriented about their money? So if I can pay off a $300,000 mortgage in 7 years, somehow we have to educate people to put our fee on a credit card and then put it into the system and say, oh, I can pay off the mortgage in 7 years, but somehow once I put the fee on a credit card, then that becomes magic and I can't do anything with it. Oh, no. We're going to show you how to put this fee on a credit card. And by doing that, your interest cost on that is going to probably be less than $200 by using the bank's money. I love using the bank's money at pennies on the dollar. Let us show you a different way to manage your finances. Okay? That's just one thing that we do. So there's several different ways that people pay for the program, but the P.I.L.L method gets paid up front.
Awesome. And Chappelle replied, book is ordered and arriving tomorrow. Amazing. And if you look in this chat, you'll see I wrote down the instructions of how to get the 10K card by screenshotting the receipt of your book purchase. Go to step 3 on the 10K card that says get your 10K card, upload the image of the screenshot, fill out your information, and you will get your 10K card within an hour. All right, cool. So while we wait for one more question to come to the stage, I want to see if Olivia is around to do a quick introduction so she can let people know who she is, what she does, and how people can get in touch with her. So Olivia, you around? All right, cool. She's probably with the client right now, closing a deal. But yeah, any questions on the stage, feel free to come up. And Kirk, quick question. Anybody got questions online that we can address? Kirk, you there?
Yeah,
I've got to make a change because I think Don
he's
is
making
back
changes right now because I'm back online.
Okay, cool. All right, there's a little reverb.
Let me know
But
when I
I
can.
guess while we're waiting for questions to come on stage, we've been teasing about an event that's happening May 20th to the 22nd. I think now's a good time to let the people know what it is.
So, Kirk, can you hear me?
We can hear you on Clubhouse.
Yes.
Right. So I need to be able to bring up Clubhouse on the Roadcaster, so we can then I can now do the broadcast.
You're free to do that.
All right. How? Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back. Kurt, let me first tell you, Kurt, how much I appreciate you, man, because there is no way I would have been freaking out. That's like, we can't do the show. Everything is going crazy, but here we are. We're back online, and everything is going great. So is everything okay, Kurt, on your end?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jared, on your end.
Yes, everything's good.
All right, we're back, folks. All right, let's continue.
All right, Don. So, yeah, any questions that want to come on the stage, let us know. We'd love to answer your questions. Don, if you have another example you want to show, or if you would like, you can also talk about what's going on in Nashville. Either one, I'll let you choose.
Let's do that while I'm bringing up the rest of the examples, folks. We're going to talk about what's happening in Nashville in May 20 through the 22nd. It's going to be a fabulous event. 16 speakers from all around the country talking about finance, talking about crypto, talking about mortgages, talking about how to become a business purpose lender without a license, how to buy property with little to no money down, how to become a real estate investor. We're going to have people talking about all sorts of things. We've got a guy coming in. His name is Jay Massey. He talks, a few years ago, he was homeless. Now he has over 400 short-term rentals, and he's teaching other people how to have their own short-term rental business. And he had a guy on yesterday that's gone from one short-term rental up to 20 already just by following Mr. J. Massey. We're going to have that kind of thing come in. We're going to have people talking about how to do marketing. That's going to be Sean 10K, who is a master marketer. And of course, we have to talk about how to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. But not only that, folks, we're not just talking about business and making money. We're talking about developing a spiritual money mindset. The mindset that not only your talent will get you there, but your mindset will keep you there. Okay. You're having a mindset in having it structured the right way. When things get tough, you can power through. Right now we're dealing with the pandemic and the high prices, and we actually put together a little video for you. Some of you will be able to hear it, some of you will be able to watch it, but transitioning from a scarcity mindset into a mindset of abundance, that's what we want to talk to you about. Let's play that video right now.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here in your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.
to know. I want you to know right now that was Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. He's going to be our keynote speaker, and what he's going to bring to us is how to transition from that scarcity mindset into that mindset that says you can be phenomenal or be forgotten. Let's roll that other video that shows us that's going to talk about how we can transition. All right.
In these uncertain times, the pandemic is still fresh on our minds. Gas and food prices increasing, and talk of Web 3.0 and the metaverse delight some and strike terror in others. Entrepreneurs, once enthusiastic about the future, now question the calling on their life. Some will find answers online, others will turn to trends and fads, but the real solution is a change in mindset. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. If mindset shapes all of that, then what influences mindset? Our answer: exposure. Exposure to a new environment. Exposure to experiences from those who have seen this before. Exposure to what works for those with proven track records that what they're doing is working. P.I.L.L Method Seminars presents Developing a Spiritual Money Mindset. 3 days at the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee, where you'll be exposed to leaders in real estate, leaders in the metaverse, leaders in building a financial legacy. Expose yourself to the top motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, in person. It's all happening May 20th through 22nd. Go to ice10kevents.com to purchase your ticket today.
Spiritual money mindset, and just go over that website. You know, we've got a fabulous team working on this thing. We're going to have everything covered from end to end. We're going to start out Friday morning, and we're going to have speakers on Friday. We're going to be back again on Sunday morning. We're going to have speakers all day Sunday. What are we doing on Saturday, you may ask? Well, since we're going to be at the Gaylord Opryland Resort, it's a free day. Enjoy the resort. This is not just education, folks. It's vacation. I wish I could combine those two words. I was trying to come up with something that worked, but education and vacation. And because it's education and vacation, and most of the people that are going to be there are entrepreneurs, guess what? It's going to be tax deductible for you to get this information, to get this mindset that's going to help you to power through this difficult time. It may look like a difficult time, folks, but let me tell you, with the right mindset, it's the perfect time to be in business. It's the perfect time to do what you're doing now. Now is the time, because it's not based on circumstances. It's based on your mindset. A guy named Jim Rohn once said, it's not the blowing of the wind that matters. It's how you set the sail. Oh my goodness. Did you know with a sailboat, if the wind is blowing east, you can set the sail so you can actually travel west? So don't let the winds of circumstances blow you in the wrong direction. I need you to have the right mindset so that you can power through and do what you were created to do, to be successful in your own right. Let's see you there in May 20th through the 22nd. And we're going to, and Jared, you're going to be there. Sean 10K is going to be there. I'm going to be there. We're going to have a great time. And then go to the link above my head. You'll see that is SM Mindset. That's S as in Sam, S as in spiritual, M as in money, and then mindset, smmindset.com. And look at the list of speakers that's going to be there, and you can be there as well. Oh, 10K, will you show them? Because when they see that, they're going to see those flyers as we have them up there. How can each person who gets a ticket, how can they have their face on a flyer and we'll send it to them? Oh, 10K is on the phone. He's probably talking to somebody, telling them how they can get their face on the flyer. Folks, let me tell you, if you go ahead and get your ticket and then hit us up on the back channel, either myself or Sean Lashley, and we will then put your face on one of these flyers. It's going to be fantastic so that you can have one as well. Listen, folks, I'm looking forward to having you there, and you can have your face on the flyer with Dr. Eric Thomas to use any way you like. It's going to be a great time. Jared, you're going to be there, right?
I am going to be there, and I actually put in the chat education.
Education, okay.
Education.
Education.
Yeah, I'm excited. Going to be talking about Web 3.0, the metaverse, and just technology in general, and how you can have an empowered mindset towards it, and also practical steps to use these platforms to bring in money. And that's one thing that I think is really important is mindset can shift so many things, but what it can shift is your trajectory when it comes to your financial situation. And the people that are in these rooms, they are masters at their crafts, but they're also masters at mindset, which has made them masters in short-term rentals, business credit, all things real estate, mortgages, etc. So I'm really excited just to learn from everybody. And of course, Eric Thomas, if you don't know who he is, Google him. Check out his Instagram. Very inspirational guy. And I'm really excited to hear from him in person. So I can't wait to be there, and can't wait to check out the Gaylord as well. I've heard some amazing things about that property. So I look forward to relaxing and hanging out and meeting everybody on Saturday.
All right. So listen, we just got a notice from what's her name, Miss Bell, and she is watching us on what is it, YouTube, and she says, I downloaded the Kindle version of my book, so I don't know how to upload the receipt. Well, take a screenshot, because if you downloaded the Kindle version of your book, it's in your library. Take a screenshot of the book in your library and send that to us. Listen, that will count as the same. All right, because it can't be in your library unless you bought the book. So thank you so much, Miss Bell, for getting the book. I hope you enjoy it.
All right. So if there are any questions in the audience, this is a great time to come on stage. We only got 30 minutes left, so we can sneak in probably 2 more. So definitely take advantage, come on stage. Make sure you're following Don, follow the club. And Don, if there are no questions in the audience, now, what example would you like to jump into for the stream?
Well, listen, folks, I think that because we wanted to talk about the high interest rates. I talked about that in a way. Miss Bell says, thank you for being so accommodating. Not a problem, Miss Bell. Listen, we want to get the information out to everyone. All right. So we're going to do whatever we have to do. All right. So folks, we talked about the high interest rates that are coming on right now, and I want to talk to you about what you can do about it, okay, and how you need to look at it. And most people are unaware how they need to look at their loans with these interest rates the way they are. All right, but before we get into that, I want you to know about our fabulous team of moderators. All right, both in Clubhouse and online. We were able to keep this show going, even though the internet went down in my office, in my studio. We depend on it. And I want you to know that once you depend on something, you have to be ready and willing to pivot when things don't go exactly right. It's about mindset. That and so to have somebody who knows exactly what to do without being told that to switch over and say, oh, Don must have lost the internet. Let's do this instead. Jared is over here doing this thing. I'm doing my thing, just telling stories and answering questions. And we went on with, and we didn't lose a beat. Why? Because of mindset, folks. You listen, nothing, stuff can knock you down, but nothing keeps you down if you have the right mindset. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen. And I've got a $350,000 mortgage up here at 3%. And folks were saying, listen, I'd love to get that 2.9% interest rate or that 3% interest rate, but those are gone. Okay. It's now like 5.125. But I want to show you something that you might not understand about how these loans work. So, Jared, if you would please, let's invite more people online to look at what we're doing.
Absolutely. So if you have a laptop, iPad, or a desktop nearby, just go ahead and open up those browsers and go to ice10kvideos.com. That'll take you to Don's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to it. There's a lot of great content on the channel. But when you look at the different panels, choose the one that says live. Once you choose that, you'll see a commercial pop up. Go ahead and skip that commercial, and you'll be able to see Don in the studio live, showing this example on the screen. And it's super helpful to see the numbers, the interest cost calculator, the amortization schedules to help you comprehend the examples that he's about to share. So if you want those instructions, you can also go into the chat where I will paste the instructions one more time so that you can see how to see it live on your screen. All right, look forward to seeing you on YouTube.
All right, excellent, everybody. So, Jared and Kurt, I just want to check my levels. Jared, how am I sounding? Jared, what's my levels like?
Your levels are fine on this side.
On my side.
Okay, and compared to, and then Kurt, the levels with my mic and house, are they about even?
It is even, unfortunately, for everybody except Jared. I don't know why. When he first starts talking, it's really low, and then it gets louder as he's talking. I don't know why, but I'm looking into that. I'm trying to figure that out.
All right.
But it is your audio is fine. It's
okay.
Yeah, there's something else there that I'm trying to work on. But continue.
All right. I think there might be something with the Rodecaster that kind of graduates that automatically, and we're going to switch that off and make it constant. But you're going to teach me how to do that too.
Okay.
I mean,
sure.
This guy's a master, you guys.
we'll
I wouldn't know how to work this stuff without you, man. So, folks, here's what we've got. We've got a $350,000 mortgage at 3%. Look at this payment is $1,475.61. I want you to keep things in perspective. Okay, keep things in perspective when you're going. Don't let little things dissuade you. Don't let little things happen to you that's going to cause you to be discouraged when going to get a mortgage. What I need you to know is look at how much it costs you to rent in your locale. Okay, how much does it cost you to rent where you are? Enough bedrooms and bathrooms for your family, and then look at how much houses cost and what the payments are going to be. All right. So in this area, you can pay for the kind of house that we could buy for $350. You would be paying in excess of $2,000 a month rent. Okay, $2,000 a month rent for something slightly smaller than you could pay about the same amount of money to purchase a home. So here's what we've got: $1,475.61 at 3% interest. Now we're going to go to 5.125. We're going to switch that over. 5.125. Look at this. Now the payment is $1,905.70. It's still under $2,100. It's not what we used to pay, what you could get, $1,475. But if we keep things in perspective, it's still less than $2,100 or $2,500 in rent for a comparable house. if you were renting a house. So keep that in mind when you see these high interest rates. Now that we've trying to fight through that cognitive dissonance, let's go back to trying to understand what's going on with these loans and how we can take advantage of a high interest rate, which makes it better than the low interest rate. Are we ready for that? Oh, I gotta listen. I gotta see if I can get some folks up on the stage to ask about that. Get at least get some comments going. Please share the room. We've got 11 shares in the hallway. Let's see if we can get those shares up to at least 15, folks. People need to hear what you're getting ready to hear, because these high interest rates are scaring people. It's keeping them from doing what they want to do. So let me go to the 3% loan. All right, $350,000. I'm going to scroll down to the summary, and on this loan, you will see that the $350,000, the bank wants $181,219.60 in total interest paid. That's 51% of the amount borrowed. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 51%. I need you to know that all 3% loans are 51% loans, almost 52. All 3% loans for 30 years are actually 51% loans. Okay, that's number one. Number two, let's take a look at payment number one on this. We make our payment this month. All right, $600.61 went to principal, $875 went to interest. But the principal payment on line two is $602.11. That's next month's payment. Okay, so we've said this often. If I make my mortgage payment this month and I look at next month's principal payment, what if I were to pay the $602.11 early? And I can do that. I can pay it early. I can pay it before the next payment is due. If I do, all of this money goes to principal. All $602.11 goes to principal. I'm paid down to line two on my mortgage, so I completely eradicate line two. And the interest that I have on here, $873.50, that's totally eliminated. It is canceled. You never have to pay that because we paid the $602.11 early. Oh, wow. What did we just learn? What did we just learn here? Take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. I need you to look at line 12. So if let's say we had some money sitting in the bank, and we know that we're going to pay $7,307.27 in 1 year towards principal. $7,307.27. Okay, we're going to pay that, at least that much, in 1 year on this mortgage, and so it takes us down to line 12. So here's my question. Do I have to pay that $7,307 in 12 monthly installments? Answer is no. If I had it, could I pay it all on line one, be paid down to line 12 in 1 month? And what would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12? That it would be eliminated. I save near almost $10,000 in interest if I do that. Isn't that phenomenal? Folks, would you like to see something even more phenomenal at the higher interest rate? Because we could actually do more damage at the higher interest rate than at the lower interest rate. Watch this as we go to the new interest rates as they're coming up now, 5.125. I'm going to wait for it to transition online so that you can see that it's $350,000 at 5.125, but the payment is slightly higher. Now, here's my caveat here. This all depends on if you can afford the payment. If you can afford this payment, You'd be better off with the higher interest rate than the lower one if you can afford the payment. What? You mean the 5.125? I'd be better off than the 3? Well, let's take a look at the summary. Oh, look at this, folks. Now my interest is almost as much as the principal borrowed. That's what the bank wants for 30 years. That's what you're taught to look at over a 30-year period. But folks, the average person on the pill method is out of debt in 7 to 9 years. So we need new numbers. Don't get fooled by this $336,000 because you're never going to pay that. Not with us. Look at the total interest paid as a percentage of principal. At 3%, it's 51.777. At 5.125% is 96.015%. We're going to pay back almost as much in interest as we borrowed in principal if we keep the loan for 30 years. But we're not keeping it for 30. We're going to show you what to do here. Remember on our other mortgage, what I said, what would happen if we were to prepay the $7,307.27? We're going to take a look at line 1 on this mortgage and compare. Remember, we were paying $600 principal payments at the lower interest rate. Look at the principal payments now. But you say, well, wait a minute, Don. Look at these tremendous interest payments. Okay, look at that. Yeah, I'm looking at the interest payments, but they don't matter. So what do you mean, Don, they don't matter? Well, this is what I mean. Now, remember, if I make a payment this month, my principal payment for this mortgage next month is only $412.66. Though the one before was over $600. So folks, tell me, which is easier to come up with? If I wanted to get rid of one line on this amortization schedule, over $600 or this $400 principal payment, and I knock off line 2 and this interest cost of $1,493.04. So folks, listen to this. Interest payments I skip don't matter. I don't care how much they are. Okay, just to give you a little example, what if you had a credit card that was 37% interest and you completely maxed out that card this month, but next month you get your bill in the mail, but you completely pay it off to zero? Guess what? You paid no interest. It doesn't matter if it's 37%. Interest payments you skip don't matter. What if the credit card interest was 50%? Same thing. What if it was 100%? Same thing. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. What matters is how much interest do you pay? And we can control how much interest we pay. Interest payments you skip don't matter. Now remember, a little over $7,000 knocked off 12 payments for us. Because the principal payment is lower on at the higher interest rate that we are now, look at what $7,000, look at cumulative principal now. Only $5,000 gets rid of 1 year's worth of payments now and $17,000 in interest, but about the same amount of money, or $7,200, gets rid of 17 payments at the higher interest rate and saves almost $25,000 in interest. All of these interest payments between what? Line 2 and line 17. Even though the interest payments are higher, we just canceled them with the same amount of money going towards principal. So do you see why I'm saying now that interest payments we skip don't matter? Oh my goodness. If I have the money available, I'm going to be way better off at the higher interest rate than at the lower interest rate, because I am now controlling what my principal payment is, and it's much smaller. I can do bigger damage to this loan that helps out me and my family at the lower principal payment here. And I get the lower principal payment at the higher interest rate of 5.125 that we're getting now. So folks, if you can afford the payment, don't let the higher interest rate keep you from doing what you know you need to do. Get that asset for your family, pay it off in 7 to 9 years, save all kinds of interest, and then take that interest that you're saving and plow that into your own family bank and start making money babies with that money, just like Credit Goddess says. Credit Goddess, what do you think about those money babies? She could be talking to a client herself. She's always working. What do you think? What do you think about those money babies we can make with that money that we're saving on interest?
Oh, listen, it's gonna create multiple generations. Like if people just understand this method, and I'm gonna share this. I had a friend that came onto your live.
Yeah.
And they also tapped in with the forbearance on their home.
Yeah.
That's forbearance, deferment. Okay. And
Forbearance.
they sat through it. But guess what? The husband wasn't on to listen. So she was left to explain this to her husband, and her husband didn't tap in to hear how this process goes. Because again, like many people would say, they think you're crazy, because it's like, how do you pay this off in 7 years? How do you pay off mortgage? They have to actually see the numbers. So, they had all this money saved, but they say, well, I want to save this money for emergency. But it's like, but if you let it sit in the bank, it's not making babies. So it's like, well, why aren't we using that money to pay off the mortgage? But see, and I'm glad that you're doing this spiritual mindset event next month.
Yes.
Because if we can just get people on that level plane of understanding, let's not operate out of fear. Once you have the confidence of knowing, because you actually sat in, retain the knowledge, and you're going to apply it, it's going to make a world of a difference. So we shouldn't let our money just sit and not make more money babies. If we just understand how much more money that we can produce by putting it into income producing or interest compounding activities to make more money babies, this builds the generational wealth that we talk about. A lot of us don't know how we build it, but this is the way. So that's why I'm always here to support you, Don. I truly believe it. It's not even about believing in it. It's about knowing it, and just sitting in your master class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I'm able to share this with others, because let me tell you, I tell people, hey, get your credit up and get the best interest rate so you can save on interest. But then when I sit in your class, it's like, it's not about saving on, having a low interest rate to have a lower monthly payment to save on interest. We got to know this part. It's the second level. Now that we got approved, now we have to save on interest. So I'm forever your fan, and I'm always sharing this with other people. So thank you for the time that you give into this.
Thank you, Rosalie. We appreciate you also. We've got some stuff going on online. We got a couple of questions here, Kurt. What do we got?
Yeah, so Jasmine, sorry, not Jasmine, Miss Bell. Let's say Miss Bell. She was who you were talking to earlier.
Yes.
She said, "Can you show me? I'm about to go into closing, and I want to be sure to make my money work as hard for me as I work for it." But I think that you kind of answered that one already. She was responding to something you were saying earlier.
Right.
But she goes on to ask further, when we pay the payment early, shouldn't we specify pay towards principal?
Well, that is exactly what it says in your mortgage note, on your mortgage note page. You have to let the note holder that you want to apply this to principal. Now, the reason why, okay, she says it's Jamita. All right.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Jamita.
Thank you, Jamita.
Jamita. Okay.
All right, folks. So here's what we're talking about, Jamita. When you do that, yes, it's now you don't have to do that if you're not escrowing. So some people put their taxes and insurance in with their payment. Okay. And that's called the escrow payment. So if you're just paying the principal and interest, you do not have to make that distinction. There's only one place that money can go. It has to go to principal. Okay. It has to go to principal. Anything that you pay extra that month automatically goes to principal. Now, if you have an escrow account, that's when they say you have to specify where you want your money to go. Because every bank I know of and every mortgage company I know of, when you give extra money and you don't specify, the default is not on your mortgage. The default is putting that money in escrow. It makes no sense to me why they would default there as far as helping me. It helps them because if that's the default, they're putting it there so that it saves them. They make more money in interest. So that's why the default is to put that extra money into your escrow account. But if you don't have an escrow account, it's not necessary. They will apply that to principal, but it's easier than it used to be. Practically every company now, whether it's a bank or mortgage company, has on their website a line that says your principal payments apply to principal only. So when we put that on there, apply to principal only, that's going to save us some money. If you don't have that and you are escrowing, if you don't have that line on your online banking, then you must call them and ask them, how do I make a principal prepayment? How do I put extra money on the principal of my loan? And then they will tell you how you can inform them on how to pay the principal. Do not assume. Don't let other people tell you and make an assumption that all you have to do is write it in the memo of your check or send a note in with your payment. Don't assume that. I had one lady assume that. She put 40 grand extra on her mortgage one time. Yep, she did that. And she did exactly what I just said. She wrote it on the memo of the check, apply to principal only, and wrapped it up in a note that said, apply to principal only, and then mailed in her check. They promptly put all of that money in her escrow account. When she called to find out why, they told her, our rules are you need to fax us that information that you want the money to go to principal. I know it sounds crazy, but it's their rules. So find out what the rules are at your bank if you want to make a principal prepayment and just follow them every time and you'll be fine. So Ms. Jamita, thank you so much for that. Do we have any other questions online? Because we're getting ready to wrap it up here, folks. We are about 4 minutes away from the top of the hour. If there, Kurt, we got any more questions? Oh, doesn't look like it.
No
Awesome.
other
So no more
questions.
So yeah, let's go ahead and wind it down, Don. Before we go to moderator outros, we'd love for you to just let people know one more time about everything you got going on, the book, the conference, all that.
All right, I'll tell them about the book. We're going to save the conference last piece. We're going to have hear from Dr. Eric Thomas as we go do our outro. All right, folks, the book. We have people who bought the book today. They're going to get their 10K card along with it. It's the only book on Amazon that goes over all of this information. And you heard it here today. Someone who's actually a student of Dave Ramsey, who actually teaches this, asks some very good questions. And what we're able to show is how we're building on the work that Dave Ramsey started, but we're taking it to another level and increasing our interest savings. And all of that information is in my book that you can get on Amazon. All right, folks. And it's going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars in interest just learning these basics. But it's going to also tell you that if you want to save the most amount of money that you possibly can, then it's going to direct you on what it means to get an opportunity cost calculator of your own. That's what we're going to talk about there. And then we'll also get you a 10K card. So let's put this up on the screen one more time, and we're going to leave it up. We're talking about the conference for next month. It is developing a spiritual money mindset, where we're going to have 16 speakers from all across the country. And we're going to have the #1 motivational speaker in the entire world, Eric Thomas, in the building. Get your tickets early before they sell out. Okay, Jared, we're going to hear from Dr. Thomas last, but let's go ahead and do our outros.
So we're going to go from the bottom to the top. Olivia, are you around? All right, Coffee, are you around? All right, Credit Goddess, are you around?
I am. Hey.
Hey, Credit Goddess. Jerry's in his Ferrari today. Back to you.
Hey everyone, my name is Rosalora Lewis. I'm also known as Credit Goddess. If anyone is interested in my services, definitely send your name and email address to the number in my bio, 888-557-5778. A scheduling link will pop up. You can either do a free consultation where I explain to you how my process works in both personal and business credit services. And if you want me to dive deep in your current situation, it is a paid conversation because it's a longer conversation where I dive deep in your current situation and tell you exactly what you need to do to improve your credit. And also on the business credit side, what we need to have established so that way we can gain access to other people's money, like the banks and lenders that are out here offering lines of credit, business credit, no doc, low doc, whatever it is. Business credit needs to be established. So I offer that service. You guys can definitely tap in. If you want to see any other services that I offer, whether it's student loan consolidations, or anyone that I can refer you out to pertaining for your business, if you need it, I have that. Go to creditgoddess10k.com. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on Friday.
Always is a pleasure being in the room, guys. And the best thing about this room is not only you're getting content that you can use, but you're also getting content that you can share, quality content that is. So if you purchase a copy of your book, guys, and fill out your statements and earnings report, definitely look forward to getting yourself your 10K card. Feel free to back channel myself, Dawn, or Kenyatta, and we'll be happy to assist you with that. With that said, guys, was it Wednesday, Dawn? Yeah, happy Wednesday. And I pass the mic back on to you.
All right.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, check out my replays. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I do a lot of content on Clubhouse, and I'll see you in Nashville. Back to you, Don.
All right, folks, we're getting ready to get out of here. We've got just a few seconds, and I just want to encourage you, get your tickets for Nashville before they sell out. We want to see your face in the place. You could have been anywhere, but you were with us today. You even stuck it out through our technical difficulties, and we so appreciate you. I'm going to be right back here on Friday going over more truth about how your loan works and developing that spiritual money mindset. Let's take us out.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't get what they don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here and your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.